Hello and welcome. As you can probably tell, this is not BremSter. My name is dumediat, and today I'm going to be bringing you a puzzle by BremSter called Competitive Tetris. BremSter has featured a handful of my puzzles on his channel in the past. I thank him again for that. And today I have the honor of bringing you one of his puzzles to solve. In this puzzle, we have normal Sudoku rules. So we have in every row, in every column, and in every 3x3 box, we have the digits 1 to 9 once each without repeating. We also have diagonal rules. So on these main blue diagonals, we will have the digits 1 to 9 once each without repeats. So you can think of these diagonals as sort of an extra region in the puzzle. And then we also have killer clues, where we have these cages with numbers in the top left, and these numbers indicate the sum of the digits in those cages. The other rule to be aware of is if we were, for example, to place a 5 here, I am not allowed to repeat digits, so I cannot also place a 5 here. And finally, we have 159 rules, where we have these red columns in column 1, column 5, and column 9. And what these signify is that whatever digit we put in these columns will tell us which column the 1, the 5, or the 9 will go in that row. And I think this is better explained with a visual example. So for example, if I were to put a 4 in this cell, that's telling us that the 1 in this row is going in column 4. So we'd place the 1 there. If we were to place a 7 here, we would put the 1 in column 7. The same thing works for column 5. If I were to put a 2 in this cell, that would put a 5 in column 2. And then in column 9, if I were to put a 6 in this cell, that would put a 9 in column 6 in that row. Those are the rules of the puzzle. If you'd like to give this a try yourself, there's going to be a link in the description. Fair warning from BremSter to me and also me to you is that this puzzle is fairly tricky. It has a 4-star rating for difficulty on Logic Masters Germany, and BremSter himself warned me that there's some tricky steps to see here. So let's see how we get on. I've been waiting to give this puzzle a try for a while now. I personally love indexing puzzles, so let's see what BremSter has in store for us. So the first couple of things I notice is these 6 cages. There's some low-hanging fruit here, so the only way to make a 6 sum in 3 cells with no repeats is with 1, 2, and 3. And similarly, if we have the 7 cage, the only way to make 7 in 3 cells is 1, 2, and 4. There might be something interesting on the diagonal at some point here with these low digits, but nothing yet. Something else that's interesting here is going to be with these 3 cells. And if you think about these, not this box here, the digits 1 to 9, once each will be in here. And so the sum of the digits in this box will always be 45. And so if we subtract 45 from the sum of these 2 cages, which is 28, we know that these 3 cells are going to be 17 when the puzzle's done. And that's actually interesting for a specific reason here. So if you've never solved or haven't solved many 159 puzzles, you may not know this trick or this sort of rule about 159 is in each of these 3 cell segments here, within each box, we're going to have a low, a middle, and a high digit. So why is that? Well, if you think about this, let's just use this box, for example, since it's out of the way of some of the other cages and constraints. In these 3 rows here, we're going to have 3 different 5s. One will be in box 1 in columns 1, 2, and 3. One will be in box 2 in columns 4, 5, or 6. And one will be in box 3 in columns 7, 8, or 9. And if I were to pick a random number here, we're going to find that in these 3 cells we'll have a low digit from 1, 2, and 3, a middle digit from 4, 5, and 6, and a high digit from 7, 8, and 9. Now that may not make sense necessarily. It might be hard to conceptualize that in your head, but if you think about it and try it out, if we were to pick a low digit, let's just say 2 here, that's going to put a 5 in column 2 in the row. Now, if I try to put another low digit here, let's say I try to put a 1 here, that's going to put a second 5 in box 1. And that's going to be true no matter what combination of low digits we use. So the other 2 digits are going to have to be a high or a low or sorry, a high or a medium. So let's pick a middle digit at 4 and place a 5 here, just for example. Again, this cell couldn't be 1 or 3 because we'd repeat the 5 in this box. And it couldn't be, well, the only one would be left would be 6, but if we put a 6 here, that puts 2 5s in this box. So we actually would have to pick a high number from 7, 8, or 9. In this case, 7 or 9. Doesn't matter which we pick, but this would be one possible way of filling out this column, or this these 3 cells in this column. So we see we have a low, a middle, and a high digit. And that's going to be true for any 3 cells within a 3x3 box in a 159 puzzle. Any 159 puzzle you pick up, that's going to be true. So the interesting thing about these 3 cells is we said that these are going to sum to 17. But if we maximize the high, the middle, and the low digits, we get a sum of 18. So whatever these digits are, we don't know what they are yet, but we only have 1 degree of freedom where we can reduce this 3 to a 2, we could reduce this 6 to a 5, or we can reduce this 9 to an 8. But the other 2 digits are going to be sort of the maximum digits within their high, middle, and low strata. So that might be interesting for this 9 cage because a lot of those digits are going to interact with this 9 cage. And it might actually be interesting for this 19 cage. So we know this 9 cage needs 2 low digits in it. It's either going to be 1, 2, 6, 1, 3, 5, or 2, 3, 4. And then the other low digit is going to be in these 3 cells. So we know this 19 cage doesn't have a low digit. And I'll be using the killer calculator here just so I can make the math a little bit quicker. So if these 3 cells don't have a 9, the digits are going to be 3, 6, and 8. Again, because we need to have the highest middle, the highest low digit, and then we can reduce our 9 to an 8. So that's going to break the 9 cage if we do that, because now we can't use 1, 3, 5, we can't use 1, 2, 6, and then we can't use 2, 3, 4 because the 3 and the 6 are taken up. So actually these 3 cells here, they need a 9. And so that's going to put a 5 in one of these 3 cells based on the indexing we did earlier, but because this cell can't be a 5, this can't be a 9. So we're going to have a 5 in one of these 2 cells. And keep in mind this is actually going to be, we now know what our middle digit is in these 3 cells, and we also have our placement of our low digit, though we don't know what our low digit is quite yet. So here's something else. So we know we can only have 1 high digit in these 3, and we have the 9. And the highest digit we can have in a 9 cage is 6, if we do 1, 2, 6. So actually the other 2 high digits in this box are going to need to be in this 19 cage, so we need to put a 7 and an 8 over here. That's really cool interaction. I love this type of deduction with these killer cages and having something else sort of interact to limit the risk, the possibilities more than you might think. So we've got 7, 8, summing to 15, so we need to add a 4. And that tells us now that we have a 4 over here. Now we can't use 2, 3, 4 for this 9 sum. So we actually need to use a 1. It's either going to be 1, 2, 6 or 1, 3, 5. And then in these 3 cells, we're going to either have 2 or 3 as our low digit. I'm not sure we know yet which one. But at least we've got quite a few things here. And then same with the middle digit. If we do 1, 3, 5 here, this will be 2, 6, 9. And if we do 1, 2, 6 here, this will be 3, 5, 9. So that works with our logic we did earlier with that 1 degree of freedom in these 3 cells. So I don't think we can disambiguate this yet. One thing that I can see here with these 1s is this is in column 4, so there's going to need to be a 4 here. Actually, I see something else. This is a little bit trickier to see, but we've got, I mentioned one of the possibilities here is 1, 3, 5. So let's put that in just as an example. So if we do this, that actually means the 5 in this box is in column 4. And so we would need to put 4s here based on where the 5 goes. If the 5 went here, we would need to place a 4 here. And the same is true for either of these. But the 4 is in this cage. So actually this can't be 1, 3, 5. This needs to be 1, 2, 6. That's really clever. I like that a lot. Okay, so now we've got 3, 5, and 9. And we already said there's no 9 here. So I can get rid of these pencil marks here. We know the 5 is over here. Now this 5, the middle digit here is a little bit less interesting because the 5 in this column is just going to be self-referencing. So wherever the 5 goes, it's not going to broadcast another digit somewhere else. It's just going to be self-indexing. Okay. So there's something else. We know that this is going to be our low digit. I'm just going to mark that in yellow for now. So we know we don't have any more low digits in these two cells. We also have a 1, 2, 3, 4 quad here, so we don't have low digits in these cells. So our other low digit is, one is going to be here in the 6 cage, and the other one is going to be in one of these 3 cells. Okay, so that's really cool. So yeah, these cages are gonna interact really nicely together. So if we put, let's say we put a 1 as the low digit in one of these, we know that 1 is shared between these 2 cages. So if I were to put a 1 here, oops, that means that 1 can't go in these 2 cells, and then the 1 is going to go here. That's going to look down though and remove 1 from these cells, and this one removes 1 from here, so we actually can't put a 1 in the 7 cage. And I think the same is going to be true for 2. If we put a 2 and to follow through on the rest of these options for 1 here is still going to make a 1, force a 1 here, and again, these 2 1s rule 1 out from the 7 cage. And it's going to be true no matter where we put it. And I think the same is going to happen with 2s, where no matter where we put a 2, say put it here, it's going to rule 2 out from there, put a 2 here, and now where are we putting 2 in the 7 cage? Very nice. Okay, so we can't put a 1 or a 2 in any of these yellow cells here. We can't put a 1 or a 2 in these 2 because of the 1, 2, 3, 4 quadruple. And we can't put a 1 or a 2 in these 2 cells because that would put 2 low digits in our 3-cell segment here. So actually, 1 and 2 need to be in these 2 cells. I can remove the coloring here. That's really nice. So that puts a 3 here. And we have a 1, 2, 4 triple, so that puts a 4 in one of these 2. So this one can't be a 4. This 1, 2 looks left over here and gives us a 6. And I don't see anything else going on the diagonal quite yet. We didn't place any indexed digits. One thing always to look out for is when you place a 1, 5, or 9, or if you place a digit in one of the red cells. You always want to make sure that you remember to go back and place that digit, or you can get stuck scanning for quite a while. Okay, so we've got a 1, 2 pair here. So the 1 is going to be in either column 8 or 9 here. So that means that this is going to be an 8 or a 9, and not a 4. And that's actually, we could have gotten it a different way. We know the 1 is in one of these 2, and we removed the option for 1 here. So we could have removed 4 here for a different reason, based on the indexing. Okay. So where do we look next? So in this 3-cell segment, we need a low digit, and we already have 1 and 2 in the box. So we know that our low digit in this segment is going to be a 3. And so that means the 9 is going to be in column 3 in one of those 3 rows. So we can place a 9 here. These 3's line up, and so we can put a 3 in one of these cells. That's not one of our index digits. So 9 up here can't go in the 9 cage. So we're going to get a 9 in one of these 3. Now at some point, if we can roll 9 out from this cell, we'll get another digit here, and actually we'll get a few digits because this 8 would put a 1 here, for example, 2 here. Oh. Yeah, that actually breaks, I think. So if we put a 9 here, well, if we don't put a 9 here, I should say, and the 9 is in one of these 3 cells, that makes this an 8. That puts a 1 here, puts a 2 here, and a 9 here. And that's actually okay. So if the 9 is here, the 9 is going to be in this cell. So actually, the 9 is going to be in one of these 2 cells in this column, but I don't really want to pencil mark that quite yet. Pencil marking across boxes can lead to problems sometimes. So let's try something else. So we know the low digit here is going to be a 1 or a 2. We don't have a lot more information. Maybe this 9 cage is going to help. Okay, so if this is 1, 2, 6, that's interesting. Yeah, that doesn't work because of the diagonal. So if we do 1, 2, 6, just to help visualization, we already have a 6 in the diagonal, so we couldn't put a 6 in either of these 2 cells. So that would place our 6 here. But that puts 4 cells where we need to put 1, 2, and 4, and actually we have like 3 cells that can only be 1 or 2, so that's actually going to break. So we can rule out 1, 2, and 6 as a possibility. Do we have a similar problem with 1, 3, 5? Maybe. Yes, but this is for a different reason. So this has to do, I think, with indexing. I just saw that. The interesting thing here, so if we put a 1 and a 5 here, which is what we would have to do if this 3 is here, these would be a 1, 5 pair. These 2 cells are indexing the 1 and 5 in the row. And so we would need to put a 2 and a 3 in these 2 cells. So these would be a 2, 3 pair, and that would put 2 3s in the row. That's really tricky. So, okay, we've got, I'll put this in the grid here so you can visualize that. If we have 1, 3, 5, it needs to be like this. So wherever the 1 goes, if it goes here or here, this is going to be a 2 or a 3. And the same with the 5 is going to go in one of the column 2 or column 3. So we would put a 2, 3 here. But now we have 3 cells that can either only be 2 or 3. So 1, 3, 5 doesn't work. And so now the only option left is 2, 3, 4, where this 3 places a 3 here, and we get a 2, 4. And once again, we don't have, okay, so we do have something like this. Now our low digits in the box, that 2 of them are in here, the 2 and the 3, so this 3-cell segment needs a low digit, so we have a 1 here. And again, that 1 will be self-indexing, so it won't throw digits somewhere else in the grid. The 1 will just index itself. But we do have a 1, 2, 4 triple on the diagonal now, so this can't be a 4. This can't be a 1 up here, so the 1 is in one of these 2. And then this can't be a 1, so the 1 needs to be in one of these two cells. So this is a 2 or a 4. Okay, that's some nice progress. We also can roll 3 out from this middle cell because of this 3. Okay, so here's well, before we do that, there's a 3 here, so I could roll 3 out from here, and so I can roll 9 out from here. The other thing I was seeing before is this diagonal needs a 3. So this 3 is off the diagonal, and this 3 is off the diagonal. So the 3 on that diagonal needs to be in one of these 3, and it's not here. So one of those 2 is a 3. Now if the 3 was here, that would put a 1 here, and that seems okay so far. The other thing we pencil marked is this 1, so if the 1's in this cell, this is a 7. But it's here, this is an 8. I think that works so far. Okay, somewhere else we need to look then. Anything else with this diagonal? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. So these two cells are 5, 7, 8, 9. I'll mark those. So the 1 in this row is going to be in one of those 4 cells. But that seems okay. And then the 9 in this row is in columns 5, 7, 8, 9. And it can't be here because we have these two 9s. So this can't be a 5. So that's 7, 8, or 9. So that's our high digit for this segment. So our 9 is going to be in one of these 3 cells. And we already ruled 9 out of here, so we can't do anything else with these 9s. So we've got 9s pointing up, and then we have 9s pointing down, but I don't see 9 can be in any of these 4 spots. I don't really want to pencil mark that. Okay, so these 2 cells need a low digit. We know that's a 3. And then we'll need a middle digit that's not 4 because the 4 is in this box, in the 7 cage. So this is going to be 3, 5, and 6. And it's not 5 because we already placed 5 here before. So this is either 3, this is a 3, 6 pair. Okay, so that means that the 9 in these 2 rows are either in column 3 or column 6. And now these 9s look up, and we can put 9 in one of these 3 cells. And so then that's column 4. So in our indexing column, we need to put a 4 in one of these 3, and it can't be here. So this can't be a 9. Okay. Okay, there's something else, minor deduction here, but this can't be an 8. Because this is an 8, we would be putting a 1 here, and we already have a 1, 2, 4 triple in this column, so this cannot be an 8. Okay, so 8 is on the diagonals in one of these 2 cells. Not sure that helps us yet because since we need to put an 8 in one of these 2, we can't put an 8 in any cell that sees both of these cells. So this couldn't be an 8 and that can't be an 8. But we haven't really narrowed those digits down quite enough yet. Okay, these 2 cells need to be, we already have the low digit in these 3 cells. So these are going to be a 5 as the middle digit, and then a 7, 8, or 9 as whatever the high digit is going to be. I don't think we know which one yet. what can this cell be? Because this sees a lot of different digits. Okay, so this can be a 1, can't be 2, 3, or 4, can't be a 5, can't be a 6. It could be 7, can't be an 8 because that would put a 9 here. Or it could be a self-indexing 9. Okay. Let's see what else we can find here. Something I'm seeing that I'm not sure it's going to be helpful quite yet. Oh no, it will be. Okay, so we have our high digit in these 3 cells. So these are going to be from 4, and then we need a low digit. It can't be a 1, so it's a 2 or a 3. Now, if this cell was a 2, that's going to put a 1 here, but that breaks this 1, 2. And the same thing is true here. So these actually are a 3, 4 pair. And just to walk through that, if this, again, that's 2, that's 1, and that's broken. So we've got a 3, 4 pair. So that means the 1 is going to be in one of these 2, and then one of these 2, which matches up. That's good. Okay, so we've locked a 1 out of these 2 cells, and we haven't looked at this 14 cage yet. And the 14 cage needs a low digit in it, a 1, 2, or a 3, at least 1. So if we put a 1 in this cage, it needs to be here. And then the other 2 digits would have to sum to 13. So it would have to be a 4 and a 9 here. That doesn't work. That's nice. I like that. So if this is 1, this can't be a 3 because then this would have to be a 10. We can't do that in this puzzle. So this puts a 4 here and a 9 here to get our 14 sum. But this 9 would place a 2 here. And we already have a 1, 2 pair in the box, so that can't be a 2. So actually, this cage can't have a 1 in it, so we can remove those options. Have we locked any other digits out? Well, if it has a 3 in it, because of this 3, it's going to be in this cell. And then these 2 cells would sum to 11. They couldn't be 2, 9, because if one of these is going to be a 9, one of these would have to be a 2, and they can't. So it couldn't be 2, 9. What about 3? It couldn't be 3, 8 without repeating the 3. Could it be 4, 7? If we put a 3 here, this is a 4, so this would be the 4 and the 7. That might work, 3, 4, 7. And then the other option is 3, 5, 6. I think that works. I can't see how that breaks at this point, so maybe we should be looking elsewhere for now. Oh, yeah, something much, much simpler than what I was doing. This 3, 4 pair looks down and rolls 3 out of here. So now 3 in this box can only go here. So that's our 3 for this diagonal. We already have our 3's pencil marked here. That looks over and makes a 6 and a 3. Now before we move on, let's fix our indexing. Okay, so we've got a handful of digits. We need a low digit in these 3, so we have a 1 and a 3 already looking at it, so there's got to be a 2 in one of these 3 cells, and so there's a 1 in one of these 3 cells. Now we see before, this is the same logic we used here, where if this is 2, this is 1, and now the cell's broken. So we can remove 2 from here and 1 from here. I don't think we can do the same thing here. If we put a 2 in this cell, we get a 1 and a 4. In this diagonal, we get a lot of bouncing around at 1s and 2s. We get if we put a 2 here, this puts a 1 here, this would be 2, this would be 1, this would be 4, but that all seems okay. And then we don't have anything here to go off of with this 2, 1, so that looks like those are still options. This is going to be either a middle or a high digit. If it's a middle digit, it can only be a 5 because we have a 4 looking at it and then a 6 looking at it. And if it's a high digit, it's a 7 or an 8 because there's a 9 in the box. And it can't be an 8 because this cell can't be a 1. So that's actually only 2 options. So 5 in this, or sorry, 1 in this row is either here or here. There's something like the middle digit in this box. It can't be a 4, but it could still be a 5 or a 6. What else can we do? 5s. The one thing we didn't do yet is we need a 3 in one of these two, so that's indexing the 5 in column 3, so that goes there. So now 5 in this box, again, is in one of those 4, along with a 9, but I'm not sure I want to pencil mark that. What can these cells be? So they see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9. So it sees a 1, it sees a 2 in the box, a 3, a 4 in the box, a 5 in the column. It could be 6, 7, 8, and then it sees a 9. That's more restricted than I thought. Can this can't be a 4 now. Wait, did I break this? No, the 4 goes here. The 9 would go here if these are 4. I was looking at the wrong column. Okay, so these can still be 4. That's 4, that's 9. Trying to see if there's anything else we've locked off of diagonals. So this 9 is locked off of this diagonal in this box. We can still put a 9 here. And I think we can put a 9 in any of these still. Especially this one, this is self-indexing. This would put an 8 here, so we get 8, 9. Seems okay. What else can we do here? Okay, well, I'm not sure if it really does much here, but this, I know I see this cell's limited, so it could be, can't be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, can't be 6, 7, 8, can't be 9. I'm just clicking around seeing where, see like these 2s, there's a lot of pairs of 2s with 1s and 4s throughout the grid. Not quite seeing what to do with that yet. Okay, let's look. What else haven't we thought of? Sometimes with these indexing puzzles, you get these surprise pairs that like will restrict a combination of, like if we put up 7 here, for example, and a 9 here, we saw before with this like 2, 1 with this 1 here. But I'm guessing this diagonal is going to play some havoc with us. 4 on this diagonal doesn't seem too restricted. On the other diagonal, 4 can be in one of these 2 places only. But we already can't put a 4 here, and we can't put a 4 here anyway. 3s by Sudoku are in one of those 2, because this 3, 5, 9 triple looks up. And then in this box, these 3s. Place the 3 in one of these 2 cells. Four in this box, not quite restricted. Any other digits on these diagonals I haven't thought of? So 5, 7, 8, 9. 7. That's a 9. 5, 7. This would be a 9. And then one of those would be a 9. That seems okay. What I might try to do is figure out what's going on with these 1s and 2s. Maybe there's something weird. Or maybe we should think about this 14 gauge a little bit more. It'd be nice if we could rule out one of these digits. Like, can I put... Okay, so this can't be 2, 3, 9 as an option, because in this box, where are you putting 2, 3, and 9? The 2's here, and then 3 and 9 are placed. So that doesn't work. If it's 2, 4, 8, well, if there's a 2, the 2's always here, because it can't be these 2 2's rule out 2's from these 2. So if it's 2, you'd get 4, 8. And this 4 would put a 1 here. That seems okay because this would already have a 2, so that would make sense. If it's 2, it can't be 2, 5, 7, because again the 2 would need to go here, and this can't be 5 or 7. So if it's 2, it's 4, 8 in these 2. And if it's 3, it'd be 3, 4, 7, or 3, 5, 6. So if the 3 is in the cage, it's here, because it can't be in these 2 cells because of this 3. Can it be 3, 4, 7? If it's 3, this would be 7, and this would be 4. Does that not work for some reason? Put a 1 here and a 2 here. So you have 3, 7, 1, 2, 8. These would both be 5, 9. Yeah, what? Let me do that again. 3, 7, 8. 5, 9 pair. 3 would put 1, 2. So these would be 4, 7. That seems okay. Does that break the indexing though? No, because these are a 5, 9, so they're just indexing either themselves or one another. So that seems like it would work. If it's 3, 5, 6, it would have to be 3, 6, 5 because of the 6, and also 5 is locked off here. So this would be 3, 6, 5. That would put a 7 here, a 1 here. And that doesn't work. That's a little bit more complicated, but okay, if this is 3, 5, 3, 6, 5, this 3 would make this a 1. Well, maybe that does work. This would be a 7, this would be a 1. I don't know why I didn't think that would work, but it looks like it might. Three, 6, 5. This is a 1. The 5 would put a 2 here. It actually seems okay. Okay, so it looks like there's still 3 options. It's either, if it's a 2 in here, can't be in either of these two, so the 2 would go here, the 4 here, and an 8 here. And that works. If this is 3, this would be 4, 7. I don't think it, so this couldn't be the 4 though, so this wouldn't be the 7 because of this 3, 4 pair. And then if this is 3, 5, 6, it would be 3, 5, 6. So it is a little bit restricted. Not as much as I had hoped, but let's keep going. This does feel, this option where this is 3, 7, 4 does feel almost like I missed something. So if this is 3, this is 7, this is 8, I'm just going to do this one more time. These would be 5, 9. This would be 1, 2. So this would be, I think I said 4, 6. And that's all. Seems okay. Okay. We've also got these 1s and 2s floating around in the grid. I wonder if there's something there. So if this is the 2, it forces some things here. Would force this to be a 3 because we wouldn't be able to have 2 in the cage, and this is the only place we could have a 3. 2, 3, 1. That's a 1. That's a 4. That's a 4. So this, we know the 1 is in one of these 2 cells in this row. I'm just going to mark that. So if this is a 1, this is not the 1. If this is a 1, so is this. And then we have a 1 here. before 2, this would be a 1. Don't quite see how that breaks. About 45 minutes here. It feels like this puzzle's about to fall apart. Is there maybe Sudoku I'm missing? 4. One of these is a 4 because we can't put 4 in any of those. So everyone, I just got a phone call. I had to take a quick pause. So maybe there's some row restrictions here. So like for example, this cell sees a 2, 3, 4, and 5, 9. So this can be, it can be 1, can't be 2, 3, 4, 5, could be 6, 7, 8, and can't be 9. So the 5 is 1 in here, here, here. Oh, and it can't be 8. So this is 1, 6, or 7 with 5 in one of these 3. This one sees a handful of digits, so this could be 1, 2, can't be 3, 4, can't be 5 because of this, 6, and it can't be 7, 8, or 9 because none of those can be 5. So we have a 1, 2, 4 triple here. That's a little unexpected. Okay, so this can't be a 4 now. Okay, so that helps a little bit. So if this is 3 now, we can't use 3, 4, 7 anymore. So that's not a 7. So this is one of 2 options. This is either 2, 4, 8 in this exact order, or it's 3, 5, 6. I still don't think we know yet which one. But in this row now, we've got a triple. This is 5, 7, and 8. That's a 1. That's a 5. So the low digit here is 1 or 2 because it can't be 3. I don't think we know which one yet because the 5 is not really, it's restricted a little bit in this box, but not really restricted when we're talking about our low digits over here. So that's a 1, and this is a 1. So then we get 5 and 8. It would make this a 9, so this would be 1. That puts a 9 up here. Feels a little chainy. Not sure that that's what I should be looking at this point. What else can we find? This is a 2. I'm just thinking it would put a 5 here. I'm wondering if that causes any problems, because that forces this whole cage. That would be a 3, 6 here. 2, 2, 6, 3, 4. So this would be a 1. This would be a 1. This would be a 2. So this is a 2. Then we put a 5 here. And so this is then a 3, 3, 6, 5. 4 here, so the 2 goes here. So we got 2s. The 2 would go here. 2 would go here. So 2 in this box, go in one of those 2. Put 2 here. The 1 would go here, so this would be 7. Seems a little getting lost in my my train of thought here, but let's maybe if I get rid of these colorings, it would help and just add some colors. So that's a 2. Then we've got a 2 here, 2 here. This is 5, this is 7. Because that's the 1. 5, 7. And then if this is 2, this is 1. That seems okay. This is 2. Looking up, so this would be 9. Oh no, this would be 8 with a 1 here. So this would be 5, this would be 3. Not seeing that. How that breaks. Maybe there's something else I'm missing. This would be 6, 7, 8, 9, just to mark a couple digits. This sees a 1, 2, 3, 4 triple or quadruple, and there's a 5 here. So that's 6, 7, 8, 9. Don't know if that restricts. This so much. Hang on, I just saw something else. If this is a 2, then 2 goes here, 2 goes here, and 2 goes here. Then this would be, because of this as being a 2, this would be a 5 for the indexing. Just to help visualize this a little bit, I'm going to remove some of these pencil marks. This would need to be 3, 5, 6. This 2 would place a 1 here. This would be a 7. But doesn't that also... Doesn't that also need to be a 5? So this would be a 7 because this would be a 1. I see what it does. Okay. So again, if this is a 2, let me back out these pencil marks so I don't make a mistake. If this is 2, then it rolls out 2 for these and makes this a 2. Based on this diagonal, this needs to be a 2. And then based on Sudoku, we know 2 is in one of these, so that's a 2. So now let's look up here. Now this has to be a 2. So now this cell's a 1, so this is a 4. Yeah, but so this would be a 1 in this case because this is a 2, so this is a 4 from indexing. If that's a 4, we already said if this is a 2, this is a 5, so we've got 4, 5 here. But we can't put another 5 in this cage because these two would come to 9. This would be, so let me put digits in. I don't know how far this is going to get me, but that's a 2. This is a 2. We look up, that's a 2, that's a 4. Now by Sudoku with these 2s, this is a 2. And so now this is a 1. So we need to put a 4 here. But this 2 means we put a 5 here. And so now this cage is broken. Oh boy. That is not easy to spot, but it's very cool. So it's funny. I'm excited. I just rolled out I just rolled out a 2 from here, but actually that's more powerful than I thought because now this can't be a 5. Wow, so that's gonna, I think that might force, that's gonna at least force this cage. So now this has to be an 8. This can't be an 8. We now have a 2, 4 here. I'm gonna get rid of this coloring here because we don't need it anymore. That's, I see why this is 4 stars on Logic Masters Germany, maybe 4.5 stars, at least for my solving ability here. I'm almost at an hour, but I think we're at the tail end of this puzzle, maybe, hopefully. We've got a 4 here with a 1 being indexed. We've got a 2, not hopefully because I'm not enjoying myself, but hopefully that was the hard deduction we needed to make to break this puzzle apart. I'm thoroughly enjoying this. We've got 2s here, 1, so this still works as a 5 or a 7. This 4 makes this a 3, which makes this a 1. No 3 here. 3s, 4s. What else do we get out of this? One, 5, 7. Wondering if this can be a 1. That's a 1 just because our 1s throughout the grid have been restricted. Oh, simpler than that first. This 2 looks up and makes this a 4, and this a 2. That 2, there we go. The 2 makes looks down the diagonal and makes this a 1. So we've got a 2, 4 pair now up here, making this a 1 and this a 2. Let's not forget our indexing. So this 1 puts an 8 here. This 1 puts a 7 here. So this is a 5. Okay, and so now this 1 that we got makes this a 4. And that matches up with the 5 being placed here. 2 and 4. So now on this diagonal, we've got quad 5, 7, 8, 9. The 7 has to be in, or the 8 has to be in one of these two on the diagonal, so this can't be an 8. I think I said that earlier, but I didn't apply that logic before. That's okay. The 1 by Sudoku, we probably got a bunch of Sudoku we need to do. That's going to be here, so the 9 is going to be in one of these 3. So this is not a 9. So we've got 2. These are going to be from 2, 5, and 6 because we have a high digit. We need a middle digit, and it can't be 4. So this is 2, 5, 6. What about this diagonal? I haven't looked yet. So we've got a 1, so this can't be a 1. So this can't be a 9. The 7 also looks up, so this is a 5. And that's a 9. That makes this 9 makes this a 5 by indexing. This 9 looks down and takes 9 out of there. So that's 7, 8. That still works with our 9s here. 7, 8 pair here. So this can't be a 7. Otherwise, where are we putting 7 on this diagonal? So this is a 9. Takes 9 out of here. And this 9 is self-indexing. I missed this 2, so this 2 places a 9 here. This 5 looks down and takes 5 out of these. So we've got a 2, 6 pair. That means in this row, the 1 is in columns 2 or 6, both still work. In this column, we still need a 1 and a 9. And then in this box, we still need 6, 7, 8, but there's an 8 looking up. So the 8 is in one of those two. Okay, so this 5 places a 1 here. This is where I was saying you really need to be diligent about your following through on your indexing. So those are done. This 8 is done. This 1, 9 pair. We've got the 1s pencil marked here. 3, 1, 4, 1. Okay, and then the 6 is going to put a 1 in one of these two as well, depending on where the 6 goes. 1, 5. I think a 5. 5 can't go in. And we've got a 1 in the box too, so 5 is in one of these two cells. I don't know which yet, I don't think. 9, we got a 5 here. 5 can be one of these two, 4, 5, and then the 9, or 9. Okay, the 9's in column 1 or 7, which is still possible, and then we don't know these yet. Okay. So, looking at, we've got 1, 4, 7, 8 left to put in the column, but this can't be a 1. So the 9 is in, oh, the 9 can't be, oh wait, 4, 7, 8. So the 9 is still possible there. 1, 4, 7, okay, so these are all okay. Now we've got this diagonal to contend with still. So we still need 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Notice we haven't marked 5 anywhere yet, but that doesn't seem restricted. 5 can go in any of those 3 still, I believe. So let's try to narrow these boxes down a little bit more. We still need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This can't be a 6. This can't be a 5. And this can be any of those. I just saw this 9 get some cleaning up to do from our flurry of activity we had earlier. This column needs 2, 6, 7, 8. So 2, 6, 7, 8. Doesn't seem restricted, but I'll mark it anyway. Let's check our indexing though. This can't be a 2 because we can't put a 5 there. So 5 is in one of those 3. So 2 now is down here somewhere, which looks up, and our 2 is over here somewhere. 2, this can't be a 6 because there's already one way to see it is there's already a middle digit here, but if we put 6 here, we got 2 5s in the box. So neither of those are 6. This can't be an 8 because that can't be 5. So that puts a 5. Yeah, 5 is in one of these two. So that looks okay. I just noticed we've got a 6, 7 pair here. So we still need 1 and 5. And that actually gives us a digit here. We get a 4. Doesn't seem to do a whole lot, but we have it. These 2 5s line up with these pencil mark 2s, so that looks good. Probably missing some simple Sudoku, but maybe not. Those 2, that looks okay. 2 is up here. Still threes we've not made progress there yet. About fours. Fours in one of these two. And that pairs up with the 9. Okay, so we've got 4s in these cells, 9s in these cells. So we need 4 and 9 in this column. We already ruled out 9 from here because this can't be a 4. And so we actually end up with a 4-9 pair up here by Sudoku. We took away a 3 pencil mark, so that places 3 here, 2 here, 2 here. A little bit more progress, that's good. Okay, so this column still needs, before we do that, this 3 looks down and makes this a 3. So this should be a pair with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that doesn't look restricted. Okay, so we have a 6, 7, 8 triple here with a 4, 9 pair. So this surprisingly is a 5. And actually that gives us a 6. Sometimes Sudoku is your friend. 6 here, there's no 6 here. So the 5 is in one of these two cells. And then this is from 1, 7, 8, 9, but no 1. So we can put a 7, 8, 9 here. And it can't be 9. There we go, that's going to help. So for a few reasons. One way to see is we got a 7, 8 pair. The other way to see that is this can't be 9, so this can't be 7. So yeah, at least a couple of reasons why we can make this a 1. That looks over makes this a 9, so these are indexing one another, that works. This is a self-indexing 1. Okay, so these 4s still line up with this 9. That looks okay. The 9 is in 7 or 8 here. What else can we get? Sometimes this is the part of indexing puzzles where scanning becomes tough, but we'll persevere through it. 1, 5, 2, 6. Double check. Oh, okay. This column or this diagonal has a 1, so this is a 5. That places a 2 here. Takes 2 out of this cell. We get a 1 here, a 2 here, a 6 here. 2 looking up. We have a 4, 7, 8 triple. So this diagonal has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and needs a 6 right here. A 6. That gives us a 7, 8 pair. We'll 7 out. This is from 3, 5, or 6, and it's not a 5. It's also not a 4 because of this 4. All right, we got a 4, 7, 8 triple up here, and actually we took away a pencil mark 5, so yeah, just to confirm, where are we putting 5 in this box? Right here. So that places a 7 here, and an 8, and a 7, and an 8, using the diagonal and our indexing a little bit more. This box needs a 9 still, places 4 and 9, so this 9 places a 4 here. That all looks like it's working. This needs a 6, 7, this needs an 8. Okay, we're just down to a few digits. This is an 8, oops, an 8, 7, 8. Looks down, this is not 7. Indexing all looks like it's working so far. The 7 looks here and makes this a 4 and a 7. Takes 4 out of here, so 4 in this box. Got all these 4s looking into it, so this is a 4. This 7, 8, 9 sees a 7, 9 now, so that's an 8. That's a 7. This 5 looks down, makes this a 3. This needs to be a 6, and I broke the puzzle. Oh boy. Where did I make a mistake? Did I make an indexing mistake? Let me back up a little bit. sometimes if you put pencil marks in too fast, you can get caught like that. So let's try this again. So this is 4 or 7. This is 3, 4, or 7. This can't be a 9, just using this diagonal. This 1 looks down, makes this 5 and 1. Got 2, 6. Okay, so we still have this 4, 7, 8 triple. So this is, we need 1, we need a 2, 3, can't be 4, 5, could be 6, can't be 2 actually. And it can't be 7, 8, or 9. Okay, so this has to be a 6. Oh. Just select one of these. This can't be a 2 because of this. This is a 6. This is a 2. And this is a 6. That lines up with the 1. The 6 lines up with the 1. This box needs a 6 still. 4, 7, 8. So there's an 8 in one of these two. This is not an 8. Also, this is not a 9. So just go a little more slowly here so I don't make the same mistake again. This can't be a 9. Got a 2 here. Double check our indexing. These are 9. 4. This can't be a 7 anymore because this can't be a 9. One of these has to be a 7, so this is not a 7. 5, 9. This 6 looks down and takes 6 out of here. So we need a 5 and a 9. This 5 makes this a 9. And that makes this an 8. That 9. This needs to be a 5 for the column. You have a 7, 8 pair. This 5 makes this an 8. That looks over, makes this a 7 and an 8. That's not an 8. A 4, 7. This 8 looks over, makes this a 7, this an 8. This is not a 7. This 8 looks here and makes this a 7, which makes this a 1, this a 9, right? This a 1. So that's self-indexing. This can't be a 7, so that's a 4, which places a 9 here, 4 here. This 6 takes 6 out of here, 7, 8 pair in the row, so that makes this a 5, which makes this a 7, 8. Hopefully I just made a mistake when I was going through that pretty quickly. This 8 looks down, makes this a 7. This is a 2, which lines up with our 5. 5, 7, this is an 8. We need a 9 for the box that goes here, which lines up with our 7. This is a triple, so this is 3, 4, and 6. This is 4 and 6. 3, 6, there's no 4 here. Okay, so this all looks better. So what else can we find here? Let's check our indexing. We've got a 5 here, so that looks okay. The diagonal is going to help us here. This 7 makes this a 4, and that a 7. This 4 makes this a 3, self-indexing 5 here, and a 7. This is a 6 and a 4, and this is a 6, 5, and 3, and then this 6 looks up, makes this 7 and 6. And that is the solution to competitive Tetris. About an hour and 15 minutes, probably. I took a call, so this is probably closer to maybe 65 minutes or 70 minutes, but fantastic puzzle. Thank you, BremSter, for sharing that and for the opportunity to let me record a solve of it. This has been an absolute pleasure. I really loved the interaction here with these killer cages and where we were able to rule out 1 and 2 from these cells. We also had that nice trick we could use in 159 puzzles, where we can narrow these candidates down and eventually figure out what was in these two cages. It was a really cool trick with this killer cage and the indexing in this row, where we were able to whittle this down. And then I'm not sure if I found the correct spot here, but this checking to see like what happened if this was a 5 or what this was a 2, and what that did with this bouncing around the diagonals. That's something that I'll probably add to my arsenal. I love setting indexing puzzles, so picked up a lot of nice tidbits here. I won't keep you any longer. This is already a long video, but if you like this video, click the like button, click the subscribe button for BremSter. I know it helps him out. I don't have any vested interest in it, but I personally do that. I love his content. So thanks again, BremSter, and I hope you all have a great day. And I get to say this today: good luck with your solving.